Have you ever wondered what it takes to build and run an empire? Not just with swords and shields, but with sharp wit, clever strategy, and a deep understanding of human nature. Today, we're rediving into one of the most fascinating and influential books you've probably never heard of, the Arthashastra, an ancient Indian masterpiece on how to master the art of power. Imagine a world over 2,000 years ago, around the 4th century BC. The Indian subcontinent is a patchwork of warring kingdoms. Out of this chaos, one man, Chandragupta Maurya, rises to forge one of the largest empires of the ancient world. But he didn't do it alone. By his side was a brilliant, and some might say ruthless advisor named Chanakya. Chanakya, also known as Kautilya, was a professor, a strategist, and a king. He poured all his knowledge about statecraft, economics, and military strategy into a single comprehensive guide for his emperor. That guide was the Arthashastra. The very name Arthashastra can be translated as the science of material gain or the science of politics. It wasn't just a philosophical text, it was a practical no-nonsense manual for rulers. Chanakya believed that a king's primary duty was to protect his people and ensure the stability and prosperity of the state. To do that, a ruler needed to be both virtuous and cunning, both a philosopher and a general. The Arthashastra lays out exactly how to walk this fine line. For centuries, this incredible text was lost to the wider world. It was a closely guarded secret, passed down through handwritten manuscripts. Then, in 1905, a librarian in South India stumbled upon a well-preserved copy. Its rediscovery was like finding a hidden treasure map to the mind of an ancient political genius. Scholars were stunned. Here was a text that discussed concepts of governance, espionage, and economic policy with a level of detail that rivaled modern political science. It proved that ancient India had a highly sophisticated tradition of political thought, long before Machiavelli wrote The Prince in Europe. So, what exactly is inside the Arthashastra? Let's break down its core teachings. The book is massive, divided into 15 sections, covering everything a ruler needs to know. It all starts with the king himself. Book 1 focuses on the duties and qualities of a good ruler. According to Chanakya, a king must be intelligent, disciplined, compassionate, and just. He must surround himself with wise advisors and be constantly vigilant against threats, both from outside his kingdom and from within his own court. A ruler who indulges in vice or becomes lazy is doomed to fail. Self-control is the foundation of all power. Next, the Arthashastra delves into the harsh realities of warfare and diplomacy. Chanakya was a master strategist. He details different types of military formations, the importance of a strong army, and how to prepare for war. But he also knew that war is costly. Diplomacy, forming alliances, and negotiating from a position of strength were just as important. He outlined 6 foreign policy methods, including peace, war, neutrality, and even deception, showing a ruler how to choose the right tool for the right situation. The goal wasn't just to win battles, but to secure the long-term interests of the state. But a strong army is useless without a strong economy to support it. This is where the Arthashastra truly shines. Chanakya was a brilliant economist. He provides detailed instructions on everything from taxation and agriculture to trade routes and managing state-owned resources. He understood that economic prosperity was the bedrock of a stable state. He advocated for policies that encouraged trade, protected farmers, and ensured that the treasury was always full. At the same time, he laid out strict measures to prevent corruption among officials, knowing that it could rot an empire from the inside out. Of course, running a state also requires law and order. The Arthashastra establishes a comprehensive legal framework. It covers civil and criminal law, the court system, and the duties of judges and administrators. The goal was to create a just society where citizens felt secure and the bureaucracy ran efficiently and without corruption. Social order was paramount for a thriving kingdom. Now for the most intriguing part, espionage. Chanakya was a firm believer in the power of information. An entire section of the Arthashastra is dedicated to the art of spying. He advocates for a vast and sophisticated intelligence network, with spies in every corner of society. These agents would gather information on enemy kingdoms, uncover internal conspiracies, test the loyalty of government ministers, and even spread misinformation to destabilize rivals. To Chanakya, espionage wasn't just a shady business. It was an essential tool for survival. A king who is blind to the plots around him is a king who will not last long. So, is the Arthashastra just a manual for cynical, power-hungry tyrants? Not entirely. While it is deeply pragmatic, it also discusses the moral foundations of a state. Chanakya speaks of virtues like truthfulness, charity, and acting in the welfare of the people. However, he also practices what we now call realpolitik. He argues that sometimes, for the greater good of the state, a ruler might need to use deception or make difficult, morally ambiguous choices. The ultimate principle is the stability and prosperity of the kingdom. Morality is important, but it should not paralyze a ruler when the state itself is at risk. The key themes running through the Arthashastra are incredibly modern. The idea of maintaining a balance of power between military strength, economic stability, and internal order is something world leaders still grapple with today. The emphasis on pragmatism, making decisions based on reality rather than just ideology, is a cornerstone of modern politics, and the recognition that information is power. That's more relevant now in our digital age than ever before. The Arthashastra teaches us that governance is a complex, multifaceted art. It requires a leader to be a warrior, a diplomat, an economist, and a judge, all at once. It's a timeless reminder that power is not just about conquest, but about wise management, strategic thinking, and a deep understanding of human nature. This ancient text, once lost to time, continues to offer profound lessons on leadership and strategy, proving that the challenges of ruling have changed little over the millennia. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the world of the Arthashastra. I hope you found it as fascinating as I do. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more hidden gems from history, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next adventure. See you in the next video.